Alright, you lot, gather round, cause it's time for a right old rant from your favourite grumpy Yorkshireman, Scotty McG. Got my PhD in gaming strategy, and today we're diving deep into murky waters at Lost Art of Trash Talk. Now don't go buggering off, cause this ain't your typical highlight reel bollocks. We're getting straight to good stuff. No punches pulled, just like Grand's Sunday roast. Raw, unapologetic and bloody delicious. Now picture this. It's a crisp Tuesday night and you're just logging into your favourite shooter. Maybe it's Modern Warfare, maybe it's Battlefield, don't matter. You're ready for some primetime action. But what's this? Silence. Here is suffocating silence. Remember good old days when lobbies were buzzing with banter? Yeah, those days are deader than your nan's rhubarb pie. Sweet nostalgic centre, harmless banter. Back in my day, lobbies were alive with sound of voices. Some high-pitched and squeaky, others deep and menacing. All united in glorious art of trash talk. Remember little Jimmy in Modern Warfare lobbies? That pint-sized gobshite supposedly doing unspeakable things to your mum. It were crude, it were rude, and it were downright hilarious. Rate's kicker, it were all in good fun. You'd exchange a few choice words, have a laugh, and by end of match you might have even made a new mate. But now it's like a bloody funeral. Voice chats become as pointless as a chocolate teapot. Why? Because everyone's too scared to speak for fear of saying something wrong. Game companies have stripped away our God-given right of freedom of speech. Aye, you heard me. Same companies that once thrived on chaos and camaraderie open chat now monitor your every bloody word. Say something mildly spicy in private chat, not public mind you, and boom, your comms banned faster than a rat up a drain pipe. No one heard you, no one's offended, yet you're silenced. Think about wrestling. Yeah, I know some of you watch it. The trash talk all day long, building up anticipation and rivalry, getting psyched for the big fight. Winner gets bragging rights. That's how gaming used to be. Bit of trash at end of a match. You need more practice, mate. Or get good scrub. And we're all part of it fun. Now it's dead air, everyone's afraid to speak. It's a bloody tragedy. I tell you, I've reached a point where I don't even care anymore. I use Discord chat with my boy while we play. In game, I've got push to talk active. I give my team a little motivational speech at start, GG at end. But if I see little Jimmy camping with a sniper and doing bugger all to help team, I lay it out straight. Switch weapons and fight or get hell out of my lobby. Don't get me wrong, sniping's fine if you're keeping sniper off me while I move escort package. But let's take a trip down memory lane to where it all began. Origins of trash talking gaming are as old as gaming itself. Back in arcade days, you'd have lads and lasses lined up, pennies at ready, each one eager to dethrone reigning champion of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. And banter back then? Oh, it were pure gold. You'd hear everything from your skills are weaker than a wet teabag to I've seen better moves in a granny's Zumba class. It were a rite of passage. Baptism by fire, and it bonded us as players. See, it was never about actual insult. It was about spirit of competition, camaraderie, and shared love at game. You'd rib each other, sure, but we'd also laugh, share tips, and form friendships that lasted beyond arcade. It was this environment that fostered some of the best gaming memories and, dare I say it, made us better players. Fast forward to Donor Online Gaming. Glorious days of early Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. Suddenly you weren't trash-talking lad next to you, you were trash-talking some bloke halfway across the world. It were a new frontier and we embraced it, open arms and sharp tongues. We'd spend hours in lobbies of Halo 2, Gears of War and Call of Duty exchanging jabs and jokes, pushing each other to be better. And let's not forget birth our infamous Modern Warfare lobbies. Little Jimmy with his high-pitched voice and creative insults became legend in its own right. You might have hated him in the moment, but looking back, you can't help but chuckle. It were all part of experience. We were a community, a rowdy, rambunctious bunch brought together by our love at game and our love of giving each other a hard time. But here's the thing, in those days trash talk was self-regulated. Sure, there were lines you didn't cross, and if someone did, community was quick to put them in their place. It were a delicate balance, an unspoken code of conduct that kept things fun, and dare I say, civil. It worked. We didn't need AI overlords monitoring our every word. We had something better. Mutual respect, and a shared understanding at game's social fabric. So what happened? How'd we go from vibrant, lively exchange of banter to sterile, silent lobbies we have today? That, my friends, is a tale of corporate overreach, misplaced priorities, and slow erosion of what made gaming great in first place. Turning point came when bigwigs at gaming companies decided they knew better than us, the players. They saw chaotic, vibrant banter or online lobbies and decided it were too messy, too unpredictable. They wanted control, they wanted cleanliness, and they wanted to sanitise our beloved trash talk. First came dreaded community guidelines. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for stopping actual hate speech and harassment. There's no place for that shite anywhere, let alone in gaming. But what these guidelines did was cast a net so wide that even a cheeky "you need more practice mate" could get you slapped with a warning. They didn't understand the difference between harmless ribbing and actual toxicity. And then came AI overlords, automated systems designed to monitor your every word, every phrase, every bloody syllable. They were supposed to keep things civil, but instead they became death knell at spontaneous playful banter. These bots couldn't tell sarcasm from seriousness, couldn't distinguish between playful jab and real insult. Mention someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger and you're flagged. Type GG in chat and you're banned because some algorithm decided it's a veiled insult. It's like trying to play chess with a pigeon. Frustrating and utterly pointless. But absolute kicker, private chat surveillance. Even when you're having a private natter with your mates away from public lobbies, Big Brother's still watching. You're in a private squad chat, no one else can hear you, and yet the moment you say something that some faceless algorithm deemed inappropriate, your comms banned. No context, no nuance. Just cold hard ban. It's like being at a pub with your mates having a laugh and suddenly being dragged out by a bouncer because you used a naughty word. It's absurd. Now let's talk about who these measures are supposedly protecting. Our old friend Little Jimmy, a kid who despite game's mature rating is running around with a mouth filthier than the bottom of a birdcage. The logic is baffling. We need to protect Little Jimmy from our toxic rantings, but Little Jimmy shouldn't be there in first place. It's a game rated for adults, not for pre-teens who learn the vocabulary from CBeebies. Little Jimmy's in lobby, that's on parents, not us. Bad parenting, plain and simple. And AI? Don't get me started on that piece of rubbish. It can't tell the difference between a bit of friendly banter and genuine hate speech. Mention anything that even remotely sounds like it could be offensive out of context and you're out. Meanwhile, those who are technically allowed to use certain words can do so all day long without a single ban. It's a double standard that makes my blood boil. I've got mates who in private conversations allow me to use certain words because we've got a mutual understanding and respect. But in a public game lobby? Never. And I don't expect to hear it from anyone else either, even if they're allowed. It's about respect and context, but try explaining that to an algorithm. So here we are in sterile, lifeless lobbies of modern gaming. Everyone's too scared to speak, too afraid at consequences. It's a bloody tragedy. We've lost something vital. Something that made gaming more than just a hobby. It were a community, a place where you could let loose, have a laugh and bond over shared experiences and cheeky insults. So what's been fallout of all this? Art's death of trash talk and rise of sterile lobbies changed the way we play and interact. Well, first off, social dynamic. Once upon a time, game lobbies were a social hub. You'd jump into a match and immediately be greeted with a cacophony of voices. Some were friendly, some were hostile, but all were part of our experience. You'd banter, you'd argue, and sometimes you'd even make a new friend or two. It were raw, it were real, and it were beautiful in its chaos. Nowadays, it's like stepping into a ghost town. You'd load up a game and there's naught but silence. No banter, no rivalry, just deafening void. It's as if heart and soul has been ripped out of community. What's left is sterile, joyless shell where everyone's too scared to say a word. This shift has turned gaming from a social activity into a solitary one, even in multiplayer games. Bloody tragic. And then there's impact on teamwork and strategy. Back in day, a bit of trash talk were often sparked that ignited brilliant teamwork. You call someone out for camping, they'd defend the strategy. Before you knew it, you'd be coordinating attacks like a well-oiled machine. That dynamic interplay has gone. Now, with everyone afraid to speak, there's no communication, no coordination. Teams are just a bunch of individuals playing alongside each other, not with each other. It's a huge loss, especially in games that rely on teamwork and strategy. Let's not forget fun factor. Gaming is supposed to be fun, right? A place to blow off steam, have a laugh, and maybe ruffle a few feathers along the way. But with current state of gaming chats, all that spontaneity and excitement is gone. Thrill a good trash talk session, adrenaline rush of heated exchange. It's all been replaced by a bland, monotonous grind. We're missing out on very things that make gaming a unique and exhilarating experience. And what about friendships and bonds formed through gaming? Ones that started with a bit of banter and grew into something more. Those connections are harder to come by now. With everyone walking on eggshells, afraid to speak their mind, the opportunities for genuine interaction are few and far between. We're losing sense of community, feeling belonging that make gaming special. But perhaps most insidious impact is stifling of creativity and expression. Trash talk were a form of self-expression, a way to showcase your wit and humour. It were a creative outlet, a way to engage with game and your fellow players in a deeper level. By sanitising game chats, we've lost that outlet. We've stifled the creative spirit that made gaming communities vibrant and diverse. So what's the solution? How do we reclaim lost magic? Starts with players. We need to push back against overzealous censorship and reclaim right for free expression. We need to create spaces where banter and trash talk can thrive, where spirit of competition and camaraderie can be revived. Won't be easy, but it's worth fighting for. Now, how do we fix this mess? How do we bring back golden age of gaming banter without descending into chaos of genuine toxicity? It's a delicate balance, but it can be done. Here's game plan, lads and lasses. First and foremost, we need to push for smarter, more nuanced moderation. AI is great for a lot of things, but understanding the subtleties of human interaction ain't one of them. Game companies need to invest in better algorithms that can distinguish between genuine hate speech and harmless banter. More importantly, they need to employ actual human moderators who can understand context and can take fairer judgments. Let's face it, lads. Computer can't tell the difference between nice try mate and you're a waste of space. We need human oversight to bring some common sense back to the equation. Write to your favourite game developers, hit them up on social media and let them know we need a better system. We, players, have a role to play too. We need to educate gaming community about difference between banter and bullying, encourage a culture of respect and mutual understanding. There's a line between a bit of cheeky ribbing and crossing into harmful territory, and it's up to us to keep each other in check. Start by leading by example. Use your wit and humour to engage in playful banter without being cruel or mean-spirited. Call out genuine toxic behaviour when you see it, but don't go running to mods every time someone says something cheeky. Let's create a community that can handle a bit of ribbing without turning into a bunch of snowflakes. One solution is to create specific game modes or lobbies where trash talk is not only allowed but encouraged. A place where players can let loose and engage in kind of spirited banter that used to define online gaming. Think of it like an adults only section of a pub. If you don't like it, you don't have to go there. But for those who do, safe haven for kind of interaction we miss. These lobbies would have clear rules, no actual hate speech, no real threats, just good old-fashioned trash talk. This way everyone knows what you're signing up for. You can bring back some of that old magic without offending those who aren't into it. Community-driven events and tournaments can also help. When players come together for a shared goal and competition, bonds formed through friendly rivalry can reignite spirit of banter. These events can be a breeding ground for a kind of camaraderie and competition that makes trash talk fun and meaningful. Encourage local gaming communities, online groups and even game developers to host these events. With clear guidelines and focus on fun, we can recreate an environment where banter thrived. Finally, let's address elephant in room. Little Jimmy with his filthy mouth. Game companies need to enforce age restrictions more strictly, and parents need to step up and take responsibility for what their kids are playing. If a game is rated for adults, it's not a place for a 10-year-old. It's that simple. Encourage better parental controls and education about game ratings. Parents understand what their kids are playing. They can make better decisions about what's appropriate. This way we can have mature rated lobbies for mature players, free from worry of offending underage crowd. So there you have it, a roadmap to reclaiming spirit of gaming banter. Won't be easy, but if we all pull together, we have power to bring back magic. Starts with each of us making a conscious effort to keep spirit of banter alive. So next time you're in a game, don't be afraid to drop a cheeky get good or nice try mate. Just remember to keep it respectful and fun. Next time you see Scotty McGaming moniker on your team, feel free to mic up and say hello. I'm always up for a bit of chat, even a bit of good old-fashioned trash talk if you fancy it. And now for part you've all been waiting for. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave your comment below with your thoughts and gaming stories. Might just feature on my channel. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.